Alright y'all, sit back for a second because what I'm about to break down from Brown's mini-camp could end up being one of the biggest storylines of the season. And yeah, I know we're still early in the off-season, I get that, but what I'm seeing with my own eyes and hearing from inside the building, I'm telling you, it's hard not to get excited about this. Especially if you've been following the Browns for a while and you're always searching for signs of something real, something promising, something that actually looks like growth. So here's what's going on. David Njoku, and I'm talking about the David Njoku, the vet, the playmaker, the guy who's been through all the chaos and turnover in this organization. He's just given what I can only describe as a subtle but extremely powerful green light to rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. And for those of you who maybe haven't been following every detail of camp, let me just say this. That endorsement, it's huge. And the way it came across, even bigger. So, please take 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button, like the video and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Now, Njoku wasn't making a big, formal speech. He wasn't at a press conference hyping up the rookie like he was trying to sell a story. No, this was more natural. It was in the flow of practice, in the little moments, on the sidelines, in some lighthearted banter and unspoken cues. That's the kind of stuff you really gotta pay attention to, the little things, the body language, the off-mic energy. That's where you can tell what these players are really feeling. And Njoku, he's feeling good about Shedeur. The chemistry between them, I mean, it's real. You can see it forming. It's like they're already speaking the same language. Out there, Shedeur throws a tight spiral, perfectly timed. Njoku cuts across the middle and just snatches it like he's been doing it with this guy for years. I'm telling you, when you've got a tight end with Njoku's athleticism and physicality, and you match that with a young quarterback who's got elite-level ball placement and calm under pressure, that's not just good football, that's potentially game-breaking synergy. And it's wild, right? Because we're talking about a 5th-round pick here. Shedeur wasn't one of the headline names coming out of the draft. He didn't go in the 1st round or 2nd or even 3rd, but you wouldn't know that watching him. You wouldn't know that hearing the way people are talking about him right now. Because from the second he showed up at OTA and then rolled into mini-camp, the guy's just had the right energy, the right mindset. He's working like someone who knows he still has to prove himself, but he's walking with the presence of someone who belongs. And David Njoku definitely sees that. You can tell he respects it. He said it. Shedeur comes in every day with a positive attitude. He's upbeat, he's smiling, he's locked in. That type of presence, man, it matters. You want to go to work with people like that. You want to grind next to a guy who isn't dragging the energy down or second-guessing himself. And when your veteran leaders are enjoying their reps with the rookie quarterback, that tells you something about where this kid is mentally and emotionally. But Njoku's not the only one speaking up. No sir, Myles Garrett, our all-pro, our franchise cornerstone on defense, he's spoken on this too. And let me just say, when Myles Garrett puts your name out there in a positive light, that's not fluff. That's not just saying nice things for the cameras. Myles is careful with his words. So when he says that Shedeur's fitting in seamlessly with the team, when he talks about how the guy carries himself with this steady confidence, with a smile on his face and a calm demeanor, that's big. Myles said people just love being around him. Think about that for a second. You walk into a locker room full of grown men, guys fighting for roster spots, veterans who've been doing this for a decade, and they like being around the rookie quarterback. That's not normal. That's rare. That tells you this isn't just a kid with talent, it's a kid with presence. He's already earning respect from guys who've seen it all. And I went back and watched some of the mini-camp footage. I'm telling you, if you haven't checked it out yet, do it. There's this one clip that says more than a dozen pressers ever could. Njoku and Shedeur on the sideline, casually talking, a little joking, little smiling, and it's so relaxed. The body language is easy. There's no tension, no stiffness. Just 2 guys vibing like they've been doing this together for years. And when they got back into drills, that chemistry didn't go anywhere. Shedeur was throwing darts. Precise, sharp, in rhythm. And Njoku, right there, clean catches, strong finish. It was beautiful to watch. And don't think this is going unnoticed inside the building, either. Mary Kay Cabot, who has her finger on the pulse of this team better than almost anyone, she's weighed in too. And you know Mary Kay doesn't toss around hype lightly. She's been covering this league, and this team for a long time. So when she says that Shedeur is earning his spot, and not just with the fans but with veterans and coaches, you better believe it means something. She talked about seeing him even before the Browns drafted him, at the Super Bowl on Radio Row, at the NFL Honors red carpet, at his Colorado showcase. She's seen how he interacts with people. Coaches, fans, media. He treats everyone with respect. Shows up early, focuses during every rep. Stays even-keeled in the middle of chaos. That's maturity. That's leadership. That's the stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but ends up defining a quarterback's career. And she even said it, this isn't just early buzz anymore. It's not just camp optimism, it's turning into belief. That word really stood out to me, belief. That's what changes franchises. When the people in the building stop thinking he might be good and start feeling he's our guy. That's the shift. And it feels like we're watching that shift happen with Shedeur. She also said something else that I think really matters in a city like Cleveland. He's good on the mic. Calm, articulate, not cocky, but composed. He knows how to handle pressure. He knows how to deal with media attention. And in this town, that is everything. Because the Cleveland quarterback spotlight doesn't dim. It burns 24/7. If you can't handle that off the field, it doesn't matter how good you are on it. But Shedeur, he's been nothing but solid. Whether it's a press conference or a one-on-one interview, the dude speaks like he's been doing this for 5 years. No stumbles, no gimmicks, just clarity, poise, and honesty. And that's how you build trust with your teammates, with your fans, with your city. So yeah, maybe it's early. Maybe we still have a long road between now and week 1, but from everything I'm seeing, hearing, and feeling around this team, this rookie quarterback is different. He's got the right tools, the right mindset. And most importantly, he's already starting to belong. That's the hardest part for any young quarterback, and he's making it look easy. Now, I know some people thought this was going to be just another preseason storyline, maybe something that fades once the real games start. But from what I've been seeing, from what I've been hearing, this is way more than just hype. It's not just a headline. It's not just a rookie getting attention because of his last name. No, this is about real performance, real leadership, real respect being earned day in and day out. And I want to break it all down for you, because this story is unfolding fast. And if you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss one of the most interesting quarterback stories in the NFL right now. So, please take 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. So let me start with what just came out recently. A former NFL star, who's now an analyst and very plugged into what's happening behind the scenes, dropped some insight during a recent segment that really blew this whole thing wide open. And this wasn't just media speculation. This guy said he's been in direct contact with players inside the Browns locker room. Not hearsay, not someone who knows someone. He's actually been talking to these guys. And the word coming out of Berea, it's glowing. He said the players are absolutely loving what they're seeing from Shedeur. And not just in terms of throwing ability, though that's there too, but in terms of his poise, his leadership, his ability to walk into a huddle with confidence and command the respect of the guys around him. I mean, that's something that even veteran quarterbacks sometimes struggle with. And here comes this rookie fresh out of college already earning that kind of response. That says a lot. One player apparently even went as far as to call Shedeur the best quarterback in the room. Let that sink in for a second. When you've got a quarterback room that includes a veteran like Joe Flacco, a guy who has literally won a Super Bowl, that's a massive statement. You don't just throw that kind of praise around lightly, especially in a league like the NFL where respect is earned, not given. And it's not just about what Shedeur's doing on the practice field. It's about how he's carrying himself, how he's engaging with the locker room. There's something about his presence that's standing out. And that's not just coming from fringe players either, it's coming from the big names. Denzel Ward, Pro Bowler, one of the most respected cornerbacks in the league. He had a conversation with that same analyst, and when asked about Shedeur, he didn't say much, but what he did say spoke volumes. He said, and I quote, "He looks different." That's it. Just those 3 words. But when someone like Denzel Ward, who faces elite quarterbacks every week, says a guy looks different, you better believe it's worth paying attention to. Because he's not just talking about mechanics or throwing motion. He's talking about that it factor. That natural presence that separates the good ones from the great ones. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. That same analyst said something else that caught my ear. He was relaying conversations with a few other guys in the locker room, and he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, I got a couple young bulls out there. Talk to Denzel, talk to some others. That kid looks different. There's just something about the way he spins the ball. And let me tell you, when players start talking like that about a rookie quarterback, something special is happening. Because in this league, players don't sugarcoat. They don't hype guys up just to make them feel good. If you're not earning it, they'll let you know. And if you are earning it, they'll make sure people hear about it. Now let me take you into the locker room dynamic, because this part really showed me something. There was this moment, it was lighthearted, but so telling. Music was playing in the background during a break in practice. Just one of those moments where guys are relaxing, loosening up. And Shedeur, he starts dancing a little bit. Just goofing around, having fun. And then this is the part that made me laugh. He turns to Joe Flacco and goes, "Your turn." Just playful, just being himself. And Flacco, with that veteran smirk, just shakes his head and goes, "I don't do that kind of thing in public." It was a fun moment, but it showed me a lot about the relationship Shedeur's building with the older guys. He's got confidence, he's got personality. But more importantly, he's got humility. He's not walking around like he owns the place. He's not trying to challenge the vets. He's being himself, but he's doing it in a way that shows respect for the guys who've been there. And that respect, it's going both ways. In fact, in one of the clips that's gone viral, Shedeur talked about Flacco in a way that honestly gave me chills. He said if Joe Flacco ever asked him to clean out his locker when he retires, he'd do it. No hesitation. That kind of statement, that doesn't come from ego. That comes from deep respect and gratitude. That's someone who understands the culture of a locker room. That's someone who's not just trying to be a leader, but someone who's learning what it takes to earn leadership. And Flacco, for his part, had some heartfelt things to say about Shedeur, too. He said Shedeur's been fun to be around in the meeting rooms, that he's cracked a smile a few times because of him. And then he made a joke about how he probably wasn't too far from playing against Shedeur's dad, and now here he is, playing with the son. That's full circle right there. But maybe the most exciting part of all this, the chemistry forming between Shedeur Sanders and David Njoku. And let me tell you, Njoku is not just some role player. He's a cornerstone of that offense. A guy who's relied on to make big plays and keep drives alive. And right now, what we're seeing between him and Shedeur is something real. They're connecting during reps. They're talking on the sideline. There's rhythm there. There's trust developing. Njoku even seems totally cool with Shedeur getting time with the first-team offense. And that is huge because tight ends and quarterbacks, that relationship, is all about timing and trust. And you don't fake that. Either you have it or you don't. I also heard from one of the most respected beat reporters covering the Browns that Shedeur's maturity, his communication skills, and his professionalism, especially in how he handles media and interacts with teammates, have stood out in a big way. And that kind of feedback from the veterans, it's not just encouraging, it's a signal. A signal that this isn't just a rookie trying to survive. This is a rookie who's leading. And that brings me to the big picture. When you've got guys like Joe Flacco, David Njoku, Denzel Ward, and even someone like Myles Garrett embracing a young quarterback like this, you've got to ask, what does that say? What does it say when respected, accomplished veterans are not only supporting a rookie, they're rallying behind him. They're giving him space to lead. They're building chemistry with him. They're believing in him. Is this the start of something bigger in Cleveland? Because honestly, it's starting to feel that way. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but what we're seeing right now, it's rare, it's exciting. And it might just be the spark that this franchise has been waiting for. Shedeur Sanders isn't just trying to make the team. He's quietly laying the foundation to lead it. And if he keeps trending the way he is, we may be witnessing the beginning of something truly special. But hey, I want to hear what you think. Is Shedeur really the future in Cleveland? Can this kind of early chemistry between a young quarterback and established stars translate to success on the field? Or are we getting swept up in off-season excitement? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'll be reading them all. Because this one feels different. And I think Browns fans might just be watching the birth of their next franchise quarterback in real time. Thanks for watching and see you next one.